guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about diet breaks. So right now I'm 8 weeks out and currently on a diet break myself. So I wanted to make the most of this and run you through all my meals for the day, and also talk about how you can implement diet breaks, how they work, and of course the big question, do they actually work? Do you get results from them? So as you might have seen, I started off with some morning posing, and I like to do that on an empty stomach. Just gets the posing out of the way and sets the day well. But without further ado, I'm going to get stuck into meal one of the day, which is breakfast, and walk you guys through how I make it. So I'm sure many of you will recognize this bench top now. We're in the kitchen. So this morning I'm actually having a past favorite breakfast of mine, which is like my take on a high protein Bircher muesli. So basically what this contains is oats, it contains a grated Granny Smith apple, it contains some cinnamon, some almond milk or regular low fat milk as well, some high protein yogurt, I'm using the Woolworths brand, it contains some chia seeds as well, and then you just top it up with some water. I add some frozen blueberries in there as well, give it a good mix, and then chuck it in the fridge overnight. So my little twist on the recipe is, of course, adding the high protein yogurt. What it does in the fridge is it retrogrades, so it really thickens up overnight. The more water you add, the less thick it's going to be. The less water you add, the more thick it's going to be. So my little twist as well is that I like to actually heat it up in the microwave. So it kind of turns into Bircher muesli slash porridge. But that's how I like it. I would try it cold first out of the fridge, and then if you want something in winter, you can always heat it up. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll show you the finished product once it's heated up as well. And just to run through my macros for this diet break, I'll be having 500 carb per day, 50 fats, and 225 protein. And I'll be running that for 7 days while I'm actually deloading as well. But we'll get into more detail about that later on. So I wasn't even planning on filming me eating this, but it's even better than I remember, especially with the vanilla almond milk. So highly recommend this meal, and let me know if you do make it. It's probably going to be a staple of mine again from now on. And yeah, usually I have the Milo cereal, but this probably tops that, I must admit. It's just really creamy. So yeah, going to enjoy this and head off and do a deload leg session. So breakfast is all wrapped up. I've got some hot pre-workout here to have before my deload session. I'll be training the legs today, and I will be implementing a deload with this diet break, which I have done before and I do like. It's definitely not a prerequisite though, but if you haven't tried hot pre-workout, highly recommend it. It really brings out the flavor. So I'm gonna get going now and see you afterwards for my second meal of the day. Okay, so we are back from the gym, and as you can see, post-workout meal is already being prepared. So basically what this is, a simple pasta dish with some peas and corn, which I fried with some kangaroo mince. Great low-fat red meat option. Then I added some salt, pepper, smoky paprika, and some passata as well. If you don't know what passata is, it's basically just blended up tomatoes into a sort of tomato paste. And then of course, putting it with some whole wheat pasta. The whole wheat pasta is really great for prep just because it's much more fibrous and it fills you up a lot more than just regular plain old white pasta. But I'm gonna eat this, enjoy this, and then after this, I'm going to fill you guys in a bit more about my diet break, how I construct it, if it's gonna be beneficial for you guys as well. So I can't wait to check in with you guys then. So guys, diet breaks 101. So today we're going to discuss what is a diet break, what are the benefits, and how and when to implement a diet break. So let's kickstart this with what is a diet break. So basically a diet break is a period of eating at maintenance calories, and this is typically for at least a week, but it can be longer as well. So basically in this period there is no body fat gain. There might be a very small amount, but because you're eating at maintenance, any sort of weight gain that you will experience will basically be coming from glycogen or stored carbohydrate. So it's very normal to experience a little bit of a jump on the scale. And this is my 4th day of my diet break, and so far I've gained about 700 grams of scale weight, so almost a kilo, but body fat, from what I can tell, has stayed about the same, and I'm feeling a lot better already. So that leads us into the second point. So what are the benefits? So I would categorize this into proposed benefits. So in an ideal situation in maybe a more laboratory tested environment. So versus kind of real world benefits, which I would actually put on a higher pedestal compared to the proposed benefits. So in terms of the proposed benefits, there's some data that might suggest that you get some extra lean body mass retention, lose a greater percentage of body fat compared to muscle mass, which obviously we want, reduce adaptive thermogenesis, and basically maintain your metabolic rate throughout the dieting process. So basically when we're dieting, we have something called adaptive thermogenesis, where the lower calories we're on, we adapt to that lower amount, and that's why we plateau. So then we have to either increase expenditure or reduce calories further in order to continue with weight loss. So there is some research to indicate that diet breaks do help with this. It is very mixed research, so I'm not going to dwell too much on that. But let's just say in an ideal scenario, you might get some benefits, some of those proposed benefits. But the bigger plus that I see from diet breaks is more so things like an increase in food variety, a mental break from dieting, which is huge, an increase in training performance due to the extra carbohydrates, and basically it helps break up longer periods of dieting as well. So if you've got 100 pounds to lose, if you're morbidly obese, it's pretty rough to diet for that huge amount of time, so maybe 1 to 3 years. You want to break up that period. And this is where kind of incorporating it with things like you might have a wedding on, you might go on vacation, you might give yourself a diet break at maintenance calories in order to help stick to that. So this brings on to the final point, is how and when to implement a diet break. So how do you know whether you're suited for one or whether you need one? So there's basically no established protocol, so I'll give you my 2 cents on this and how I use them myself. So basically, as we said, bring up to maintenance calories from a week, or for at least a week, and the energy that you should be bringing up should be mainly from carbohydrates. So I haven't changed my fat or protein, it's purely come from carbohydrates, because that's what's going to fuel my training performance. So the important thing is that you still track and be accurate, because you don't want to go into a surplus, but there is going to be some greater flexibility due to just eating more food. So it allows you to have a different variety of food and not have those dieting foods. Basically what I do is I don't run them incredibly frequently. I run them about every 6 to 8 weeks while dieting at the end of my training block, and I combine them with a deload, which I find that really helps me as well. So just bear in mind that the more diet breaks you have, the longer amount of time it'll take in total to lose that body weight. Hopefully that gave you a good insight into diet breaks and when, if you should use them, how to use them as well. They're definitely not a prerequisite, you don't have to use them. However, they can be of some benefit, and I use them for myself and most of my clients, but they definitely aren't a magic wand. They're not going to solve all your dieting related problems. But without further ado, I'm going to head into my third and second last meal of the day. See you there. So as you can see here, we have pancakes on the agenda for meal 3, and not just any pancakes, but protein pancakes, of course, just to get that hit of protein. And I haven't had this in so long. It's just a really simple recipe, high carb, lowish fat, high protein. Basically has cocoa powder, a banana for extra sweetness, some protein powder, some wholemeal self-raising flour, of course, and I'll top it with some peanut butter and some frozen strawberries as well. And I just combine it with water. I don't use milk or anything, just to have a slightly lower calorie option, but let's see how I go with making these. So let's see how I go with this first one. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I perfected it. This non-stick pan is really good. Oh yeah, check that out. So this is my third and final pancake. I decided to opt for bigger pancakes and make 3 of them. So rather than make like 10 small ones. Perfect. So here we have the final product. 3 piping hot pancakes, frozen strawberries, peanut butter, and yeah, 9 grams of peanut butter goes a long way apparently. But before this cools down, I'm going to enjoy it, of course, and check in with you guys for the final meal of the day, which will be dinner. So here we have the final meal of the day. This might look a little bit funky to you guys, but basically what it is a bunch of veg that I just chopped up and fried with some herbs and spices. So there's about 6 different types of veg here. and I think salt, pepper, curry powder. And what I've done is just blended up some VPA egg whites as well and poured that in with the veg once it's all cooked up. And it's turned into some sort of like omelette slash quiche sort of thing. And then I've topped it with some passata again. So this is something that I've done in the past. Again, I haven't done it for a while, but it looks good and it smells good. So before I eat my dinner, I wanted to give you my final consensus on diet breaks and also just wrap this video up. So would I recommend diet breaks for people who are trying to lose weight? Yes, I think you should at least try it once and see how you go. Just bear in mind that it is nothing magical. You're eating at maintenance calories, so you're not going to lose more weight during the diet break week, but it might improve your results in the subsequent weeks to come. So some of the benefits that I've seen, overall, I would rate myself successful with diet breaks. I think they do work well for me because they improve my energy, they improve my recovery, they improve my training performance. I feel better, my mood is better, and it just makes the whole process more sustainable and enjoyable for me. So I would definitely recommend giving them a try. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video or learned something, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, give me any video suggestions if you have any, and we will see you in the videos to come. Cheers.